Imagine you walk into a wizarding marketplace. Last year, a basic healing potion cost you exactly 10 gold coins. Today, that exact same potion costs 15. The coins in your pouch look identical, but a third of their value just faded into dust. In economics, this is called inflation. It is the sustained rise in the general price level across an entire economy over time. The gold in your pocket didn't physically vanish. Instead, what has been destroyed is your purchasing power, the actual volume of goods and services that your money can acquire. To see how extreme this can get, look at this banknote from Zimbabwe. When a currency loses its purchasing power, you end up needing a $100 trillion bill just to buy a loaf of bread. Inflation acts as an invisible thief. To spot it, and to pass your economics exams, you have to be able to diagnose the two specific ways it enters an economy. The first entry point happens during an economic boom. Employment is full, incomes are high, and consumer confidence is soaring. Suddenly, everyone wants to buy the newest, top-of-the-line broomsticks. But the manufacturers can only carve the wood and bind the twigs so fast. This creates an auction effect. Buyers start outbidding each other for the limited supply of goods. This excess demand pulls the general price level upwards. This graph shows exactly how examiners want you to visualize demand-pull inflation. Notice how the aggregate demand curve shifts to the right along the aggregate supply curve. As demand increases, the equilibrium point is forced up, raising the total price level. Demand-pull inflation occurs anytime an economy attempts to grow faster than its maximum productive capacity. The second cause comes from the other side of the market, the suppliers. Imagine a massive drought ruins the potion ingredient crop, or the local dragon handlers go on strike demanding higher wages. When raw material and labor costs spike, producers have a problem. To maintain profit margins, they are forced to push these higher costs directly onto consumers. This diagram from the Cambridge IGCSE syllabus illustrates cost-push inflation. You can see the red aggregate supply curve shifting to the left from AS to AS1. This supply shock forces the price level to jump from P up to P1, while total economic output falls. This often triggers a wage price spiral. Workers see the cost of living go up, so they demand higher pay. Businesses agree, but then have to raise prices again to cover those new wages, locking the economy into an escalating loop. Cost-push inflation traps an economy. It simultaneously forces the cost of everyday goods up while choking off the nation's total output. It might seem like everyone loses when prices go up, but inflation actually redistributes existing wealth, taking from one group and giving to another. Savers are the first casualties. If your bank pays you 2% interest, but inflation is running at 3%, your real interest rate is negative 1%. The actual value of your savings shrinks every single day. This textbook excerpt shows how workers fall for a similar illusion. If a worker gets a raise from $5,000 to $6,000, it feels like a 20% win. But when you apply the formula to adjust for a price index jump to 125, that nominal $6,000 is only worth $4,800 in real terms. Then there are the everyday microeconomic frictions. Consumers pay what economists call shoe leather costs, wearing out their shoes, spending time searching for better deals. Meanwhile, firms face constant menu costs, having to physically reprint price tags in catalogs as numbers shift. Anyone relying on a fixed income, a cash savings account, or a sticky wage is quietly robbed by this gap between nominal numbers and real purchasing power. But there is a clear winner in an inflationary environment: a borrower who took out a massive fixed-rate loan 5 years ago. Their debt is locked in at a set number. Because wages and prices have risen throughout the economy, they are now paying back that old debt using money that is much easier to earn and worth significantly less in real terms. Zooming out to the entire country, domestic inflation makes a nation's exports far more expensive for foreign buyers. This drop in international competitiveness directly damages the country's balance of payments. Inflation operates as a relentless economic shapeshifter. If you don't master its mechanics, diagnosing where it comes from and adjusting for its consequences, you will inevitably end up on the losing side of the wealth transfer.